Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Colcom broadcast. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mia.
Okay, today we're going to look at one of the Colcom topics. What's our Colcom topic today, Mia?
Today's topic is first date.
Ay. Okay. We're going to talk about so many mistakes we made.
Yep.
All right.
This will be fun, though.
Let's just jump right into it.
Sure.
Number one. Have you ever been on a blind date? How did it go?
So I think we talked about this a bit earlier. I personally haven't been on a blind date that I've been sort of set up to go on.
Yeah.
I just usually meet people online. So it's not really blind. I guess blind to them in person, but, not blind because I've talked to them.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. So I've had a few blind dates. They haven't really gone well. It's just like my friend. It's always a friend or a coworker that tries to set you up.
Yeah.
Set you up with another single person.
Yeah.
And so chemically that doesn't even work out.
Can be tough.
Yeah. I actually, now that I think about it, my first date was kind of like my first girlfriend was like a quasi blind date.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where my friends kind of set us up, but it was just on. At high school, and we're just on, hey, this is so and so, and lunch. We just had lunch together at
school.
At school, and then
cute,
we
though.
For 30 minutes, and then hey, and then and then they're you guys should go on a date, and then they're all right, and then we tried that. So it was a speed date. It was basically a speed date, but then we went that, but it became my first group. Then we had a real, I guess. It wasn't blind. It wasn't blind.
Yeah.
It was kind of visually impaired date.
I like that visually impaired date.
Number two.
Yeah, number two is, how important to you is the first impression?
Very, very important. But also, I always make a bad first impression. But if I'm looking for a girlfriend, that first impression, how her personality is, and how it meshes with mine is what's very important. And that's probably why my other blind dates have not worked out, because they didn't have a good first impression.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think it's super important to me as well. Just, straight off the bat, just kind of getting their vibe, seeing if we mesh well together. I feel once that first impression's kind of been set, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of it. As in, if I have a bad first impression, usually, it's hard to try and have that feeling of it's going to get better. They're not going to be like that. It's usually no, I don't think it's going to get better, you know?
Yeah. So what kind of guys give a bad first impression? What characteristics are a bad first impression?
I mean, I feel like you can kind of tell straight off the bat, someone's sort of intentions with a date, as in if they genuinely want to go on a date with no strings attached kind of thing, you can kind of tell from the get-go. Whereas a guy that you can tell is just only trying to meet because they just want to get a little something for the end of that. Usually they just kind of treat you like you're just, some disposable, I've met 20 of you this week kind of thing, which, is always this sucks.
For a bad first impression, usually with a female is the girl's too compliant. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you like?
So you like a girl that's got more sort of
I like the back and forth kind of stuff. And sharing opinions or jokes or whatever.
Yeah. It's always good.
Number 3. How many dates do you need to get to a feel for someone?
Ooh, I'm a big believer in the 3-date sort of rule, as in after 3 dates, that's kind of the make or break, whereas whether you continue on or you just end it there. I feel 3 dates is a good sort of time frame to really get a good feel for someone, because the first date is all about just the surface, right? Just getting to know who they are. I feel the second date is kind of the next layer, and then the third date is really where you get to kind of be more yourself with someone and do something more sort of comfortable, as in you might do a date that's a movie, or going over to their place for the first time, or something more intimate in a way. So I feel after the third date you can really feel the sense of that person and make or break.
I have to agree with that. That 3-date rule is going just the introductory, then the getting to know someone, and then removing some of the and then removing some of your mental barriers and showing a little bit more about yourself.
Sure, yeah.
But then I'm also kind of like a fan of like, it could be a one date if it's like a good, like if your first date is like 12 hours, you get a good feel about some people. So a first date, I could get a strong feel because if I want to continue it, I don't want to end it is also.
That's a good sign. Yeah. Usually if a first date goes on for a long time,
but in this busy life, like we don't have a lot of free time and we have work. So I guess the 3-date rule is the best.
It can be. Okay, next question is, what do you think is the best outfit for the first date?
So I'm actually, this is my one rule. It doesn't matter about like the clothing, but the footwear.
Oh, interesting.
The footwear.
Okay, elaborate.
Yeah. So like I've been on a couple dates and the girl is wearing, high heels or uncomfortable shoes, but because she wears something that's she thinks is cute or fashionable, but functionally it's gonna hurt her feet. Which because I just said, like going a good date. If a date's going well, I want it to go on as long as possible. But if she's not wearing good footwear, like it's gonna hinder the period of this date, and it's
interesting. That's a good point. I've never heard someone that considers footwear as like a key thing, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, depends what the date is. Like, I think if you're planning to go out for a nice dinner and drinks, like, I tend to dress up more and wear something nicer on that first date if we're doing something like that. But if it's like, if we've agreed to have like a coffee and go for a walk in the park date, it might be like still, I want to, dress something nice, but it might be a little more casual. It might be like jeans and a nice sweater, whereas, a dinner might be like a dress or a skirt or something like a little more fancy. So, but always first date, I feel like it should be sort of a nice outfit. I feel like
it should be nice. Yeah. It should be like not casual, but like semi-casual. Like, you're
comfortable.
For a guy, you're clean khakis, a golf shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No baseball hat, no sports logos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 5, I'll do that one. Can you recall some impressive date? What was it?
Ooh, impressive date. Do you have any off the top of your head?
So there was it's one girl, my college girlfriend, that broke my heart. Like our first, actually it was her roommate, her dorm mate had a crush on me.
Oh, okay.
But then she went back home for the Christmas break.
Yeah.
But both of us still lived in the city, and we were kind of used to hanging out.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, let's just hang out, and we kind of just it started off just as a casual, kind of just friends hanging out. But then as the night went longer, we established similarities and and we're like, oh, this is fun. And we went dancing. We had 2 meals together. We had a late lunch, and then we had dinner, and then we went to the club, and then even when the club ended, we couldn't dance, we continued. We just went to, and it was the winter time, we went to the harbor front and just play and just went swinging in the cold just for a couple more hours until we got tired.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, that's a great date.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. It's nothing's really standing. I haven't been on many great dates. But when I was living in New York, I did go on a nice date that was also by the waterfront. If you know New York, there's near Brooklyn Bridge, there's on the other side in Brooklyn, there's a nice little sort of park area where you can sit and watch all the city lights of the city. So there was a nice date I went on there where we just stayed there as the sun set, and so we watched the sunset and then the city lights come up while we were just drinking some nice coffee.
Giving some advice, if you want to have a good date, go make it during a harbor front, ocean water and all that stuff.
Definitely.
I guess both of us have similar great memories of that.
City lights are just romantic. It's just the vibe. So Okay, next question is, share some tips! !
Well, we just gave one. Try one if you could get sunset by a waterfront. While the city lights come on, that's a great place.
Oh yeah,
Maybe an Icha.
Oh,
like
yes.
a second round, second place.
Definitely. I think, I love that. Like city lights, some kind of like pretty like environment of some way. Like if it's during the day, also like if you can find a nice park. I feel like walking and talking is a nice thing to do on a first date. So my tip is like, I think if you've got a place where you can kind of walk and enjoy some scenery, that's always good. Because sometimes, especially if, it's a little awkward to just sit and like talk to someone new, like face to face at a cafe or a restaurant, at least when you're walking, there's things you can kind of comment on around, the environment's changing. So it can be like a nice sort of way to not feel like the pressure of talking the whole time, you know?
I guess, for preparing locations, prepare places that you commonly go to, like in that period of time, like so you're more familiar with it, because that also shows the other person like, oh, this is your personality, this is where I go for fun. Like when I dated my Korean girlfriend before I came to Korea. Like I was also at the time working in an Italian restaurant, and I was doing sketch comedy. So the first one, I took her to the Italian restaurant for like, because I like the food there. That's why I worked there.
Nice, yeah.
And then we went to a sketch show, and that showed kind of my personality. Like, I do this work. I know like. This is the type of food I'm into right now, and this is the kind of the hobby I'm into right now.
Yeah, that's
show
a
my
great
personality.
thing. Yeah, good tip. Do something that shows a bit more about you. Yeah, I like that.
Number 7. Describe your ideal romantic first date. What would you do first, next, and then last?
For me, because I tend to second guess everything in terms of like what I'd want to do. I love when like the guy I'm going on a date with like sort of decides the date. So for me, ideally would be something like you mentioned, like something he'd want to show me, maybe something that he likes or some place that he really likes to go to or food he likes or whatever. Just like show me something that he likes or whatever that is, I'm open to it. But as we've kind of mentioned, I do like going for a walk or like going somewhere where there's some nice scenery, like city lights or something like that. So ideally it'd be maybe a coffee in the afternoon and then get dinner somewhere and go for a walk somewhere. That would be maybe my ideal. Yeah,
I guess for romantic, I think like starting off with a meal is always good.
Sure.
Because then like you get to know the person, and then from there like you probably want to do some activity. So like I suggested like what I'm into. I was into sketch comedy, so I took her to a comedy show. But that's also like going for a hike. You have food, you chat, and like going, let's work off this food.
Yeah, true.
Last, I think I always leave just I don't have like a third option because because I guess I asked for their suggestion and like or like let's try to decide what the last thing.
Sure.
As I think about it, I think actually movies are too cliche and
can be.
It's not really a romantic thing because you're sitting in a quiet space for 2 hours.
I hate that for a first date.
I don't do that. I don't think anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, question 8. What activities are enjoyable to do on a first date in your country?
Oh, so ice skating is a good one. Yeah.
Nice.
So ice skating is always great in the winter.
Yeah.
In the summer, walking by the harbor front, just going for a walk together. A nice place. Go to I guess like a either in like art gallery might be good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think similarly, maybe not so much ice skating for us, but that is an option. We do have rinks, but I think sort of common just dates are like, the typical thing, going out for drinks, dinner. You could go to the beach, although unless you live near a beach, then maybe not the beach, but movies, going to see a concert.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, too. Number 9. Yes. Is it a man's responsibility to ask a woman out? If you were a woman, I'm not, have you ever asked a man out on the first date?
Ooh, so I am a woman, so I can answer the second part. I haven't, I have suggested like hanging out or like, meeting up with someone, like a guy first. So I guess, I don't know if that's necessarily well, maybe it's a date. Yeah, I don't think I've straight up like been like, go on a date with me. But I have like, if I'm talking with a guy, I don't mind bringing up like, hey, you know, we should hang out, we should meet up, we should, you know, and see if he takes the lead and like, you know, wants to go on a date. But as I said earlier, like I do appreciate when a guy is like forward with me personally. Like I do like when a guy's like, let's go on a date. Like I want to take you here. I've got a great place like to recommend. Let's go do this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but.
Yeah. I feel bad to say it, like, I don't want it to be the man's responsibility, but that's what normally happens. But like, if a woman shows initiative, even just talking to me, I'm like, oh wow, because normally like it's the guy that has to break the ice if he sees a girl, and like but like yesterday, like I was just like having a drink and like a girl like just started a conversation with me. Like I was chatting with two guys and then she like went, oh, like where are you from? And like and then she just basically like fished me into a conversation with her, and then the two guys I was talking to, they just laughed, and I didn't even notice it. But I'm like, oh wow. And then she asked for my Kakao ID, and even she's like, oh, can I get your Instagram too? And then she's like, oh wow, you're into. I'm like, can I go on a date with you? But I don't know. Like now, like it's not. I don't. Because I don't know if she's just being kind or all that stuff. It's the whole modern, like, does he like me? And like the miltang.
Yeah. I think it goes both ways. You know, you never really know someone's intentions. But yeah. I
think, it's the whole miltang now. It's all a culture that I have to deal with. And yeah. So anyway. it's changing, but it's frustrating.
Can be. Dating is, All right. Last question is, what is the appropriate age to start dating?
I mean, when you're ready, you're ready. Like, it's kind of cute. Like in elementary school, like kids go on dates, but they have curfew.
Yeah, sure. Elementary school?
Yeah, I remember. Well, I didn't do it. I didn't go on my first date till I was like 19 or so. But but you know, I remember in elementary school, you know, there were being like couples and all that stuff, and they would
cute little kid love.
Love. But yeah, they had their curfew and all that stuff.
Sure.
So I guess when puberty starts.
Yeah, I was gonna say around that time, sort of middle high school time is probably good. But again, it would be, you know, kind of kid dates, right? Like you just go to like the park or you go to like a cafe after school or something, which is cute. So
like my local cultural center, like they would have preteen dances. So that was like, so there would be like, where kids can go like from 13 to 16 just to like dance with the people their similar age too.
That's so cute. Yeah. Nice.
And then their parents would pick them up at like 9 o'clock when it was over.
Of course.
But it was a safe place and all that stuff.
So, I like that.
All right. Well, that's our discussion about first dates.
Yes.
I don't feel very hurt by disclosing this information.
No.
Okay. Well, if you have further questions about Qualcomm, you can reach them on their website at qualcomm.co.kr. I've been Jeff.
And I'm Mia.
Bye-bye.